Hi everybody, do you want the same parts on your car that I used on Cruise Missile? Don't forget to check out davescustomparts.com. What is happening, Dave's World fans? So I'm jumping into this video. I'm trying to do openings to my videos much faster so we can get into the actual work. So, if you did a big turbo on your Chevy Cruze, you're probably used to hearing this noise. It's running a little bit lean. Turn the camera back on when we get there. A lot of people have speculation as to what that noise is. If you tell somebody, my turbo is making a louder noise, most people just think you're talking about spool. However, people who really don't know much about these cars don't understand that the big turbo makes this god-awful flute noise. After tinkering with our turbos, I figured out that there's not much you can do about it if you stick with the factory parts. Now, a lot of people who follow my channel and follow the Cruise Missile build know that I have a website, www.supercruises.com. I produce parts for these cars. Not a lot of companies out there make parts for these cars, but I do, because a lot of the stuff I make are things that you didn't even know you needed for the car. So this kit is basically something that will allow us to stop having to deal with the diverter valve, which is what's causing that high-pitched flute noise when you decide to increase your turbo size. It allows us to run an atmospheric blow-off valve. It allows us to relocate our mass airflow sensor. You will have to use this in conjunction with the intercooler system that I sell on my website. It will not work with a factory intercooler. However, I can build you pipes for the factory intercooler so you can adapt this and still retain the factory intercooler if you want to save some money. However, running the factory intercooler I think is an awful idea, especially if you're trying to make power, because they get heat soaked very easily. The temperatures are upwards of like 175 degrees depending on what state you're in and depending on what modifications you make to your car. Bad move. I understand trying to be on a budget, but it's just a bad move. So my kit is going to come with pretty much everything you're going to need. This is still a prototype. I'm still working on everything that's going to be in the kit. Things you see today might be different by the time I, offer this for sale. The next thing I'm gonna do is let me set you up, and then we are going to install everything.
Okay, so what you see me doing here is removing the intake. Whether you have a factory intake or an aftermarket intake, this will have to be done no matter what. What I'm in the middle of removing is the factory diverter valve. On my car, I do have the HPRV. Either way, that has to come off. The footage is moving a little fast, but I'm in the middle of putting in my diverter valve that actually tricks the ECM. What it's doing is going in the same place. It's blocking the air from being able to be released, but the computer has no idea of what is going on. So all it's doing is basically just keeping the pressure in where we need it and allowing me to use the blow-off valve to release the air. The next thing we're going to need to do is we're going to be pulling the mass airflow sensor out. I'm going to have to figure out, in the future, the kit will come with like a block off for this. We're going to transfer the mass airflow sensor into the new mass airflow sensor housing. The mass airflow sensor housing that I provide will be the new mass airflow sensor location that will be used moving forward, so you will have to have your tuner adjust for this. Now, my intercooler system is set up to be modular, so all of these pipes can be changed out depending on if you're running my methanol injection, if you're running my blow-off valve kit, if you're running the factory intercooler with my pipes, or if you're running my complete intercooler system. Every one of these can be changed out. You just have to let me know what type of setup you want, or if you already have my setup, what you want to add. Now, the last thing you see me doing here is installing the blow-off valve, so the next step is going to be basically testing and adjusting.
Okay, everything's finally installed. I already had a vacuum line going to my boost gauge that, if you saw the boost gauge install video to show you how I did that, I tapped this vacuum boost line into the blow-off valve. I have a mass airflow extension harness that these are custom made. If you need different lengths, let me know. I have a custom mass airflow sensor housing with an air straightener. So basically the turbo is going to produce a boost and the air coming in is going to be turbulent. The air straightener will actually straighten it out so the mass airflow sensor can read better. And I moved the mass airflow sensor behind the blow-off valve because after air gets let out and then boost gets put back in, I wanted the mass airflow sensor to know what was going on. If we kept the mass airflow sensor over here on the intake, then we would have operation problems. Basically, the engine would run like crap. So I haven't started this yet or adjusted anything. We're gonna do that now. All right, go ahead and start it back up. I want to test the air pressure. What? Yeah, I know. Do that again. Do it again. Do it again. A little harder. Harder. A little harder. Hold on. Okay, so we pretty much have the world's first second generation CRUZE with an atmospheric blow-off valve. I was able to trick the computer. It seems to be functioning correctly. I don't know what kind of boost I can reach in the car. We're gonna go for a spin right now and see what happens. And the main goal for this was two things. Adjustability for boost, and I'm trying to get rid of the flute sound that the big turbos make on these cars. It's sort of embarrassing when you're driving this car around because it just makes this loud whistle noise, and it's not like a fun whistle, it's like a screeching. Yeah, let's go for a spin. It definitely doesn't feel like we lost any power, and the blow-off valve is working like a normal blow-off valve. It actually sounds really good now, wow. I think if I just figure out the spring, it'll be pretty much perfect. So right now, while I was driving before, just maintaining speed in third gear, I would be hearing a screeching noise, and I'm really happy to not hear it anymore. Anybody who has a big turbo knows what I'm talking about, but anyone watching this video without a big turbo, you probably won't believe what I'm telling you, just because you're gonna assume it's just turbo spool, but it's not. It's this loud, grinding flute vacuum noise. Imagine all that stuff happening at the same time, and it's so loud you can't hear your radio. You would basically hear it right now while I'm maintaining speed. So right now the car just feels like a normal turbo car. This is what you want. This is what I expected when I put a big turbo on the car. It doesn't matter which big turbo you have, whether it's Bad News Racing, Turbo Bay, or I think ZZP makes one. A big turbo on these cars using the factory diverter is going to produce that noise. Now I think I just want to get the boost to come back, and then once I get the boost where I want it, we probably have to data log and then get this back to the tuner to have them adjust everything, because I moved the mass airflow sensor. Okay, so I'm going to adjust the preload on this blow-off valve because I don't think it's able to hold back the boost the engine is producing. I may have made that a bit too tight before. Alright, so this time around I put a stronger spring in and I'm data logging. I just want to go up a hill real quick and see what kind of performance the turbo has. Alright, so we just peaked at 25, which is pretty good. I wasn't paying attention to the air-fuel ratio though. The camera's about to die, so I'm sorry if you guys don't get to see the next couple pulls. But... Alright, so when I started filming this video, originally it was about 3 weeks ago, and I was healthy and happy, and I was in the middle of filming this, and I wanted to pump this video out for you. I ended up getting shingles, which is incredibly painful. Imagine being burnt by a blowtorch, while at the same time an entire beehive is stinging you, and every muscle in your body basically feels like you're being probed with spikes. It is the worst feeling.
I was dealing with that. I'm still not fully healed, but I'm feeling good enough that I can film and edit and maybe do some work to the car. But I at least wanted to film an ending to this video because I never got to. So I just want to let everyone know what was going on with me, because for almost a month no one can get me, and some people were talking to me, but then I may not respond because I was just miserable and in pain and I couldn't even think straight. So my apologies. I was in the middle of filming this video. I pretty much put most of the footage that I wanted into this video. I filmed a lot more, but a lot of it was just me testing and playing and testing and playing, and the video would have gotten boring. I put the important stuff in. Here's the key thing. With the blow-off valve, you now get a real blow-off sound. You get the turbo flute noise completely eliminated. You get adjustability. Now you can, I can actually adjust this turbo down to 10 psi. I can adjust it all the way up to 25 psi. You can do the same with the wastegate, but doing it through the wastegate actually could be dangerous, because you end up over-spooling or under-spooling the turbo. In this situation, you're just relieving pressure or adding pressure. The turbo doesn't change its spooling in any way. It's actually a lot safer to do it that way, plus you get cool noises. Under the hood, it's a lot more aesthetic. I definitely like the way it looks. I love having a blow-off valve under the hood. It feels and looks more like a tuner car at that point. It seems to be working perfect. If you want to be a tester for this kit and you have a good tuner, let me know. I will set you up with a discounted price and you can get the kit, test it, and then maybe if there's a few tweaks I need to make or a few changes I need to make, you can help me out with it. You know, testing things on my own car based on my know-how, I can get things to work no problem. But now if I go basically offer it as a product for people, I need to see where people might make mistakes installing, or other cars might run differently. And if they run differently, there might need to be tweaks made to the kit for me to make sure that there's not going to be any problems, because I want the kit to be able to work for everybody. Every kit's going to basically be set up for about 20 psi, and you should be able to adjust it up or down. You can go down to 10 psi or up to 25 psi. You should be able to be set that way. I can go up even higher. The problem with going higher is you have to make sure you have a very good tuner to make sure they can adjust for the higher boost levels. Now, I'm crazy. I'm running 30 psi. I like seeing 30 psi on the gauge, but that also means I'm running my engine to a dangerous level, and that's okay for me, because if I blow my engine, I don't care. I like working on my car, but I don't suggest you guys doing that. I tend to like to stop between 20 to 25 psi on, you know, if I'm gonna give anyone advice on their engine, I would say don't go over 25 psi. That's a good rule of thumb to have if you want to basically maintain your engine's longevity. So I just wanted to close this video out. I want to let you guys know about the availability of the kit. It will be on the website. I don't quite have a price just yet, but if you want to be a tester, contact me through supercruises.com and I'll go over what the kit, you know, basically what I need to be able to produce a kit for you, so you could be a tester, and then we'll go from there. I also have a Discord, a link, basically all the tools, parts I use, my Discord, my Instagram, my Facebook group, all of that'll be in the video's description. So just check out the description. You have ways to get in touch with me. People who are part of my membership, I always appreciate you guys. And actually, the members of the channel helped me quite a bit when I was producing this kit. So based on your feedback is why I came up with it. I know a lot of people out there were sort of looking for a way to kill that flute noise before I even got my turbo. So I was working on this before I even got the large turbo. Now that I have the large turbo, you know, I wanted to put the kit on to see if I can eliminate that noise. And you know what? I did. So I set out to do what I was going to do, and I succeeded. So this is exciting. Even though I don't show emotion well, I am very happy. So thanks, everyone. Have a very nice day. If you need anything, please feel free to ask. And my apologies for being so sick, but unfortunately I can't do anything about it. Have a nice day.